for this video, we're going to do two little moves. One's a traveling move known as the basic Egyptian, also known as step touch. And then I'll show you a cute little arm move that you can play around with. So to get started, we're going to focus on the feet. The first move is a touch. You don't have to point your toes, but just kind of almost nice plie stance. And then down to a flat foot. To move forward, you're going to point that foot down again. Flat foot down. Touch, step. Touch, step. You can do a little turn. Touch, step. Touch, step. Touch, step. Touch, step. You can even move backwards with this. To go backwards, it's just touch, step, and just kind of do that little step back. Touch, flat foot back. Touch, flat foot back. Touch, flat foot back. Start adding some layers to this now. We're going to go with the hips. We're going to go forward. When you do that touch move, you're going to do that little hip bump. If you remember the earlier video, we go hip bump up. And with that hip bump, if you haven't seen the earlier video, it's just kind of an oblique squeeze. Just pop the hip up. There's a slight straightening in the leg when you pop it up. So touch, hip pop. And then everything's still in the hips when you flatten the foot down. When you do the next touch, pop that hip up, flat foot down. Touch, hip bump, flat foot down. Touch, hip bump, flat foot down. To go a little faster, touch, flat, touch, flat, touch, flat, touch, flat. To go backwards, just remember it's touch, flat, touch, flat, touch, flat, touch, flat, touch, flat. Now for that third layer, the arms. I'll show you little variations you can do with arms depending on how coordinated you feel. The simplest one is we call it second position with the arms. The arms are just out to the sides, a little air in the armpits, a little bend in the elbow. You're just posing looking pretty. And you just hold your arms still. And that way when you do those little touch and hip bumps, you're just kind of emphasizing on the hips. And then to go backwards, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step. The next one, we're going to that basic Egyptian stance. For that, arms are up overhead. When you do the touch move, there's going to be a little bend in the elbow, like there's a pull down. So it's a little pull like that. Then flatten, the elbow kind of starts to straighten up. And then with the next touch, little pull, let it float up. Pull, float up, pull, float up, pull, float up, pull, float up. Going backwards, do that step, that touch, and hip bump, elbow goes with it. It's almost like your hip and your elbow want to meet, but just can't quite get there. Touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step. Another variation with the arms is one where your arms are kind of creating this L shape. So the foot that touches is the one that shoots forward. And then when you step down, you're preparing. So the next foot that touches, that one goes forward, this one goes up. So the knee bent, it's like everything's kind of pointing in those directions. The bent leg forward, arm is forward. Straight leg back, arm is straight back. And then when you switch, without any hip bumps, we'll just kind of practice that switch, How you want to do that transition's up to you. Whatever makes you feel graceful. And then just nice little. And then when you're ready to add the hip bump and some movement, hip bump, 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 bump. To go back, no difference in the arms, just kind of coordinating back. So back, touch, 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 touch. And there's your basic Egyptian and those arm variations. Remember, arms can just be plain at the sides if you're not feeling comfortable. You can just do that slight little bend in the elbow. Or you can do those L arms. And there's your Egyptian. All right, so for a fun little thing you can do with your arms, just a fun pose. One arm is straight out. Another arm kind of wraps around your head like this. Like you're kind of framing your face. And your hands do a rotation. You just circle your hands together. Whether you're leading with the pinky or leading with the thumb, it's kind of up to you which direction you want to go. And this one's kind of all in the wrist. And it's just a nice, cute little. And to transition to the other side, you just kind of fan your arms. And just fan the arms. You can look forward or look to the side, however you want to emphasize it. Now to add fun to that, how you can also layer things. If you've done the shimmy, you can kind of do this with a shimmy. You can do it with figure eights. However you want to do it. And go from there. If you want, you could even do that Egyptian traveling step, where you just ignore whatever you're already doing, just do that. Switch it to the other side. Go backwards. And layer whatever you want on that lower body with those arms. Enjoy. Have fun.